I didn't want to know about this. I'm on my phone 24/7. I did not want to know about this. But then it even gets worse from there. I stumbled upon this study. It was cited in one of the other studies. And basically, it was because I wanted to answer this question about Bluetooth. Okay, so I had seen in like a Reddit forum somewhere that wearing Bluetooth headphones can actually minimize the amount of radiation going from your cell phone into your head, right? So instead of holding the cell phone against your ear and having that non-ionizing radiation go up against your ear, right? Using Bluetooth headphones could minimize the amount, right? But then I had also seen somewhere that Bluetooth makes it worse. And so when I saw an article about Bluetooth, I was like, okay, let's find out what that says. Studies on cell phone radiation exposure inside a car and near a Bluetooth device. So here they measured the amount of radiation coming out of just a cell phone, and then they measured the amount of cell phone radiation when with a Bluetooth device in a car. Okay, so I don't know about you, but lots of folks probably have Bluetooth in their car, right? I have a Tesla. That's like how I open my car. Okay. Now, I also never hook my phone up to the Bluetooth inside the car because it can be really annoying when messages and whatever. So I actually don't do that. But now I'm glad I didn't, because it says the radiation intensity was observed to have increased by 393% when a cell phone and Bluetooth are used inside a car as compared to no phone and Bluetooth. The specific absorption rates were calculated to be 514 times higher than the biological limit of results indicated total exposure intensity, and specific absorption rate values were considerably higher than the human body can safely absorb. What the fuck? And then connected to that study, I found this one, epidemiological exploration of the impact of Bluetooth headset usage on thyroid nodules. So in this study, they found 2 significant factors that affected thyroid nodule risk. Specifically, longer daily usage durations of Bluetooth headsets were strongly linked to an increased risk of developing thyroid nodules. And the study highlighted a significant impact relationship between prolonged Bluetooth headset use and increased thyroid nodule risk, emphasizing the importance of considering health impacts in the use of modern technology, especially for devices like Bluetooth headsets that are frequently used daily. You know, and I was talking about this with my husband, and the analogy of seatbelts came out. How many years did we have cars, right? Used cars for everyday travel before seatbelts were made a law? Long time. What, 30 years? 40 years? We had many, many car accidents, right? A lot of people died in car accidents. And seatbelts is just one example, but the car came before the seatbelt, right? And it took us decades of lots of people getting visibly hurt and dying before regulations were put into place that unequivocally would save millions of people's lives. And we keep doing this as humans. We keep doing this over and over again, where we put out a technology and think it's going to be totally fine. We don't think about what's the seatbelt that we're going to need for this, because we're probably going to need a seatbelt. And what is Bluetooth? This is just more convenience, right? Every time, and it's just so crazy, whether it's microplastics and ultra-processed foods and bottled water, which are conveniences, those are shortcuts and conveniences, or this, Bluetooth headsets, instead of just holding a phone up or using it on speaker or using wires, right? That Bluetooth is a convenience compared to a wired headset, right? Or wires. Wires are inconvenient, but no. Typically when things are inconvenient, they're usually safer. That's a pattern I'm starting to see. When you actually Google, like, does Bluetooth headsets cause cancer? It will actually say that Bluetooth headsets will minimize the amount of radiation going from your cell phone into your head, right? I kept seeing that claim repeated over and over and over again, but I could not find a study and citation for it. Just like how everyone says that plastic is totally safe, right? Well, BPA might be bad, but as long as you're not microwaving plastic, you're going to be fine. Like, where is that evidence? The evidence doesn't exist. That's my point. A lot of times people just assume that someone has fact-checked things and they just keep, it's like a game of telephone. They just like keep repeating the same information over and over again, but it's just not true, right? Because who benefits from that? The FCC is the one that regulates cell phones, and they haven't updated the limits for radiation since we had fax machines, like since before we had an iPhone. So I could not find the study saying that Bluetooth devices minimize the amount of radiation, but I found this one instead. And it says, when comparing the paired cell phone with the associated paired Bluetooth, the Bluetooth emitted much more radiation than the cell phone. Findings in the study suggest that Bluetooth headsets increase radiation emissions. However, it's important to note that it only tested one Bluetooth headset model. The results also conflict with Health Canada claims that Bluetooth headsets decrease radiation emissions. This is from 2014. The pairing of this Bluetooth headset to an iPhone increased radiation emissions in both the cell phone and the Bluetooth when compared to an unpaired cell phone. It's one of those things where, like, am I still going to use Bluetooth? Yeah, totally. Am I still going to use my cell phone? Fuck yeah, I am. However, am I going to use Bluetooth in a car? No, I don't need Bluetooth in a car. Yeah, am I going to use my Bluetooth headphones? Probably not. I also, I've just been turning my Bluetooth off when I don't need it. Because like half the time you just leave it on. Not half the time, all the time. You just leave the Bluetooth on. You know, and again, like with every risk, there's going to be ways that our body can remediate that. And like, I don't know enough about this to say like it's totally fine. But there's a lot of evidence showing that there's risk. There's way more evidence showing that there's risk. It also shows that people are being paid to downplay these risks. And so I'm going to take a little precaution and just turn the Bluetooth off, right?